Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our assembly. It's Monday morning, and as you can see, I'm somewhere a little bit different today. I'm outside in my garden, and I'm going to tell you a little bit in our assembly today about the theme for the next week's work. So, for the next couple of weeks, actually, we're going to have a theme with all of our schoolwork called Adventures in My Garden. And your schoolwork is all going to be about something connected to learning in the garden, because being outside is really, really good for you. It makes you feel better, makes you feel happy. And actually, there's loads and loads of wonderful things that we can learn from being outside. So our assemblies are going to be connected to things in the garden. And all of your learning is going to be about things in the garden, and you might be making things, you might be working with a brother or sister to find out what's in the garden, you might be learning about some of the things in the garden. There's going to be lots and lots of creative things that you can do. And the idea is to get you all outside and doing some different types of learning that are really, really fun, but also good for your mental health and well-being as well. But there's one other really exciting thing that I'm going to ask everybody to do. So normally, all of your work in school is in your Google Classroom, and that's brilliant. And I've seen the work that you've put in the classrooms, and I've had a look at the stuff that you've been doing, and it's amazing. You're all such superstars, and you're very, very lucky to have teachers who are so hardworking to plan all of these activities for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set everybody a task. Everybody in the whole school. And it's not just a task, a job to do, it's a competition. So I'm going to ask everybody to make a garden shoebox. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to find a box. Could be a shoebox, could be a cereal box, could be any kind of cardboard food container that you can turn into your own model garden. And then we're going to have a competition. So there is going to be a £5 Amazon voucher for the best garden for every class. So one Amazon voucher for each class for the person who makes the best garden. And I thought, to start us off, I'm going to see if I can do mine. Okay, so you can see the sorts of things that you can do. But I bet yours is going to be lots better than mine will. So let's see what I've got first of all. Let's take some of these things out of here. A bit difficult to see. I've got my shoebox. I've dropped something on the floor. There we go. Now, it's not going to work like that at the moment. I'm going to need to cut bits of this off. So this is where you're going to need quite a big pair of scissors and probably a grown-up to help you. And it's really important that you are careful with those scissors. And some of the older children may be able to manage this themselves, but definitely some of the younger children are going to need a grown-up to help out. So I've taken the front off that, and I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to just trim the sides like that. And this is where the cardboard is doubled over, so it's quite difficult to do. That's one bit. And here's the other side. Very, very tough to do this one. And there we go. So I've got, you can see there, the sides of my garden, so you can see it really clearly. Okay, let's get the bits that are falling on the floor and pop them out of the way. Now, other things that I've got that I can use, and I think it's really, really helpful if you get all of the things in one go. So I've got some stones, some gravel. Okay, and I found these just on the edge of the patio where the water drains away. I went out for a walk yesterday, and when I was walking in the woods I collected some pine cones, and they were lying on the floor. Very, very important that you don't go picking things off the trees if they're growing in the wild. Okay, if you're picking things from your garden, that's a little bit different, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I've got some straw. And this would normally be the guinea pig's food, but I've got the straw, and when I finish with my garden, I'll give it back to the guinea pigs so they don't go hungry. And I thought that having somebody in my garden would be a good idea as well. So I've got Winnie the Pooh, and Winnie the Pooh can live in my garden. So I'm going to make, I wonder if you can tell me, what's the name of the place where Winnie the Pooh lives? Does anybody know? That's right, it's the 100-acre wood. So I'm going to see if I can recreate a bit of the 100-acre wood. Now, I think I'm probably going to need a couple of other bits and bobs. So come with me while I go and get some other bits. Now, first of all, I've got my spade. And this is where you're definitely going to need a grown-up who can help you with this, because you mustn't go digging things up or cutting things down without checking with an adult first. That's very, very important. So I have dug down. I've got some soil, and I'm going to put that on the table as well. So that's ready with everything else. I think that I may need just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Okay, right, I think the next thing that I'm going to need is probably something that looks a bit like a tree. So rather than chopping a whole tree down, because that would never fit in my box, I found a bush in the garden, and can you see we've got some lovely flowers on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off a couple of these twigs. Now it might be that you want a pair of special secateurs, so I've got that one. Hasn't got any flowers on there. Let's get one with some flowers on it as well. And this is the bit that's really important, where you absolutely must check with mums and dads, or check with the adult that you live with, to make sure it's okay to cut things out of the garden. You mustn't go cutting things down without checking with the grown-up, in case those plants you're cutting down the wrong bits of the plants, or there's a special plant that somebody doesn't want you to cut down. So, there we go. I've got one with a flower on it. Okie dokie. Right. Let's sit down again. Now this is the bit that's going to be a little bit difficult, just because of the angle my laptop is at, and I'm going to have to hold the box up there so that you can see it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to have an area of my garden that has some stones, or my wood, and I'm going to have an area of my garden that has got some soil. Spread that bit out a little bit. And I'm going to have a little bit of a field there as well. So I've got some of the hay for the field. Okay. And I think I'm going to put these pine cones here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've kind of arranged them. I probably needed a 5th, but I don't know how well you can see. I've kind of arranged them in a bit of an L shape there. It's like the walls of a house, so Winnie the Pooh can sit in the middle of it there. Now the thing that's missing is our trees. So what I need to do next, let's see how well I can angle that. There we go. You can just about see there. I need to put something, I think probably here, but that's maybe a little bit too big at the moment. So I'm going to cut that down and trim off those bottoms. And pop that in there like that. And let's take that one, and that one is probably about the right height, and that's sticking up. So I think if I look very carefully and look at the details now, can you see that just at the front of the garden now, along there, there's a little white bit, and I want to hide that white bit, so I'm going to put some more of the soil along at the front. There we go, hiding that white bit, a few more of the stones, and then I'm going to get the rest of them out of the way. Oh, there's a little ant who's come along to say hello as well. Right, so there we go, I've got my garden. And it's like the 100-acre wood with Winnie the Pooh living there. I've got a couple of trees, I've got a bit of the field along the side with the straw, and I've got some soil which shows the wood paths that Winnie the Pooh might play along, and I've got the pine cones which kind of work a little bit like the house. Now I reckon if you were really creative and inventive and you planned it out very, very carefully, I reckon you could do some amazing things. I think you could try, I bet Lego models would be fantastic. I wonder if you could get Lego people in there, because Winnie the Pooh takes up quite a lot of space in my shoebox. But what about if you were to put a Lego person in there, and then maybe you could create a little Lego building, or there could be a car going along there and you could make the road. There's lots and lots of possibilities for you. And if you're really inventive and quite green-fingered, I was in the supermarket and they've still got packets of seeds in the supermarket, so maybe next time one of your grown-ups goes to the supermarket, if they brought you back some cress, you could actually grow some of the things that are living in the garden, so you actually have a living garden. That'd be amazing. Now, the other thing that I haven't done is I haven't done anything along that back wall. Okay, because I was trying to be quick for the video that I'm recording. If I sat and coloured it all in, it would take me ages and you'd be really bored watching me. But you could draw or colour or design something on that back wall, or you could print out a picture so it looks like that you've gone to Spain or outer space. It could be a space-themed garden. So there's lots and lots of possibilities. You might even get your pets involved. Look who's come along to say hello. You see Alfie? There you go, Alf. Lots and lots of possibilities. And don't forget that there is the £5 Amazon voucher for the best design in every class. So what I'm going to ask the teachers to do is to put a post in the Google Classroom which is just for you guys to post your pictures of your garden in. Okay, so you're going to all post your pictures in the same post in your classroom. Okay, and when you've done that, I want to see if you can post all of those in, and Mrs. Dunnabin and Mrs. Skelly, two of our governors, have really kindly volunteered to judge all of those posts. Okay, to judge all of those pictures, and then we will announce, not this Friday, but the Friday after, who the best gardens are and who's going to win those prizes. Okay, so lots and lots of fun stuff to do today. All right, make sure you talk to your grown-ups about how you do this, and make sure you get your the help from your grown-ups so that you're not making a mess and leaving it. And another very important thing to do, if you look at my table, I've got all this stuff. Very, very important. I need to tidy away now. Please don't leave a mess all over your garden or over your tables or whatever you've got. Make sure you tidy up after yourselves as well. Okay, so lots to think about. All right, and our assembly on Wednesday is going to be all about things in the garden as well. So look forward to that, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, bye-bye.